The views, information, and opinions expressed during the following program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the views of Access Communications, its representatives, or its employees.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of Weyburn City Council held in the council chambers at 6 p.m. Monday, January 23rd, 2023. Tonight we have Councillor Mickle is away, Councillor Van Betju is away, we still have quorum. We have sitting here with us a youth councillor, Nicola Erasmus, and she is here as the voice of the Youth Council. We are moving forward. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the regular council meeting and strategic planning and priorities meeting held January 9th, 2023. Do I have a motion, please?
Your Worship, I'll make the motion to accept those two reports.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
All in favor? Carried unanimously. Additions to the agenda?
Your Worship, there's no additions tonight from administration.
From council? No additions. Moving forward, there are no public hearings and notices. There are no delegations, proclamations, or petitions at this time. There are no reports, standing committees. We have a consent agenda, which consists of the cash activity report, building department, and public works report, and water treatment report, and we have those will simply be seen on, received and seen on our website. If you have a motion, please, to receive.
Yes, Your Worship. I would move that the following items on the consent agenda be accepted as presented. Cash activity report from November 2022, Building Department November 2022, Public Works report from December 2022, and the Water Treatment Plant report from December 2022.
Your Worship, I would second that motion.
Discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. We have no motions. We have no introduction of bylaws. There is no unfinished business. There is no new business at this point in time, which brings us to inquiries and announcements. And the announcement simply is that we have a very short council meeting because so much of our activities, due to the way our administration has been able to hone things, we've got our budgets have been already presented. That has been passed. We're now moving in, and we're going to be waiting for RFPs to be out, request proposals and tenders going to be going out. That'll be coming back in, starting to come back in February, correct? And so we'll be seeing a lot of that. We are also going to be rolling out a new tendering system, which will be coming, some of the older tenders are going to be the way they were. The new tender system, Jen, is coming when? Starting to be rolled out when? Sorry.
It's actually going live tomorrow, so the first official tender will be posted tomorrow morning.
And with that, there's we've had Mr.
Yeah, just to add that to Your Worship. So all of our bids now will be electronic. So we use a program called Bids and Tenders. So we're just trying to streamline our process of how we do things. As you mentioned, we will see more of our tenders being released right now. There's actually some out right now. We'll have some openings here in the near future, and we'll start bringing some more in February for our RFPs coming up.
When I was on Access, Laura was talking about a lot of the stuff that the city's going to be doing. A lot of it is going to, for this year's projects, are infrastructure, basically. It's kind of like infrastructure, correct, Jen?
Yes, absolutely. I think through the budget consultation process that really identified that infrastructure was a key focus for the citizens of Weyburn, and that's a lot of how our budget is structured this year, is to focus on those infrastructure upgrades.
So, again, it may not seem, because all this infrastructure is like streets and sidewalks and down there, it may not seem like there's all this activity, but we are very, very active, just as the city employees have been very, very active doing the street cleaning. I just really want to thank, and I've gotten a lot of texts a few texts, I should say, thanking and praising the way the city workers have been able to clean this snow off, which is really good. We're going to get all the streets cleaned, I think, before this cold weather hits by the Friday. Anyway, go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, so we're currently working through and finishing up Area 2 in the residentials, and we have started in Area 3 now. So Area 2 and 3 are ongoing, and yeah, our hope is to finish by the end of the week. So yes, I would just like to echo that kudos to the Public Works Department, because I know they have been putting in longer hours, working on the weekends and trying to get through this residential areas. So we thank all the public for your patience during this time, because there was a significant amount of snow that has been removed from the city.
Hopefully the heating bills and the energy bills won't be too drastic here in February, but we will most certainly, we had a reprieve. We'll most certainly it sounds like we're going to be back to this good old Saskatchewan cold weather on there. Is there anything from the Youth Council, anything, nothing going there? So with that, Council, Marcette.
Thank you, Your Worship. I was just wondering if I could get an update from the city manager on the city facilities that are currently experiencing issues with the freeze and thaw, and that's resulting in a lot of ice standing on the roofs.
Yeah, thanks, Councillor Morissette. So we are seeing some ice damming in some of our facilities. We've seen some in the arena, some over in Sioux London Historical Museum, the Weyburn Public Library. It's something that happens, especially when we do have the heavy snowfall, when we have the really cold weather to now the really warmer weather. We take this very seriously, and making sure that our facilities are kept to the best ability, really do that. Talking about the library, we actually have people that have been going on the roof and clearing that roof off. With the structure of that roof, it's not the easiest thing to do. And so it's most important for us is that, we make sure that we get as much snow off that roof. For us, long term, we've actually made, when Mayor Roy talks about infrastructure, a real priority on our roofing systems. So coming up for this year's budget, we actually have a focus on our two really larger concern roofs. One is over at the Sioux London Historical Museum. We need to do some work over top of where the archives are, and also where our silver collection is. That is the #1 priority we have for roofs. The second one right now is in this year's budget is the Tom Zine Sports Arena. Our second level, we've been having some issues over there. And so it's just not just one facility, it's multiple different facilities. Moving forward after that, a part of the budget process will be requesting to do work to the roof over at the Weyburn Public Library. In the future, it'll be to City Hall and also to the Weyburn Leisure Center. So, for us, there is a lot of work to be done. Our facilities group is really taking the time to understand what the needs are, to work with contractors, to look at some solutions we can. The hardest part is that during this time of the year, we can't fix those roofs, right? That's the hardest part. When the weather's like the way it is, this is an ideal time to do that, right? You may do more harm than good if you do that work. Right now, we have to do some basic work to make sure that we take care of those roofs and make sure that structure stays that way. I understand there's some concerns from residents. So we do have our staff out there doing work. We have them on the roofs clearing that snow for those heavy areas. We're bringing contractors in when we do need that assistance if required. It's really key for us that, we do that due diligence now, and also with that long-term planning, to not have it that we just don't know about these issues. We know about these issues, and we have to plan that out accordingly that way.
Thank you.
Comments? Anything else?
I have one last one, Your Worship. I want to just thank Minister Duncan's office, the work that was done here at City Hall, and through the work Tina Clay did, preparing for the Queen's Jubilee. Last week was a really great event here in the community. We had 45 recipients receiving that, including Greg Nicola, who's in the audience tonight. And it's a really great event, and we're really happy to celebrate the work from those people, not only from Weyburn, but from the surrounding area.
That's correct. Many people, it's good to recognize so many of the people that have spent their time and given to our community through the years. Anything else from engineering? No? So with that, there's no notice of motions, and that brings us down to adjournment. Like I said, this was a very very quick meeting, simply because so much of it, we're kind of in that in-between, just before all the tenders start coming back in for approval and looking at different subject areas that way. So we will, next meeting, Danette, is February 9th?
February 13th.
February 13th. And until then, say good night and thank you for joining us.